Hey friend, it's me, Devin Marvell, back again with another video. Go ahead, start this video off by hitting that thumbs up button for me, or you can wait till you get to the end of the video, because you may not like it. Maybe you want to hit that thumbs down button, but that's okay because you know what? That's your business. And my Tabitha Brown voice. Shout out to Tabitha Brown. If you're not familiar with who she is this amazing woman with this amazing fro. She's kind of like a life coach. She's a vegan chef. I think she also does some acting on the side a little bit. She's on TikTok and Twitter. I'm sure you've seen her videos around, what she'll be doing, her recipes, and she'll say, you got a little bit of this because that's your business. But friend, I called you up today so that we could talk about the 2020 BET Awards. Did you watch the 2020 BET Awards? You did? Well, what did you think about it? Go ahead and drop down in the comments. Let me know what you thought about the show. Who were your favorite performers? Were you expecting some more awards? What did you think about the show? Let's talk about it. And if you did not watch the show, friend, well, that's also why I called you up, so that I could catch you up. I don't want you being out the loop, friend. Okay, we in this together, right? So let's talk about the 2020 BET Awards. So the 20th BET Awards aired Sunday night. This was a amazing show. I was super impressed. Hearing that the BET Awards were still going to be going on, despite Miss Corona D virus coming through and trying to stop everybody's bag. I was interested to see how they were going to play it off. I'm not familiar with any other award shows that have already aired during this whole coronavirus pandemic. So I didn't have something to measure it up to. I can't figure out what the word I'm looking for is, but I didn't have anything that I could measure it up to. So I went in there completely with a fresh mind, blank canvas to see how BET was going to pull off this award show. And I must say, they pulled it off. They absolutely pulled it off. It was such a great show. It moved so well. A lot of times when you're watching award shows, there comes a point where you might be being entertained, and then it comes to that point where you're like, oh my gosh, this ish is still on? It's been 2 hours. All right, wrap it up. But I didn't have that feeling. By the time that we were like almost to the end of the show, I was like, wow, I didn't even realize that 2 hours had already passed. So shout out to BET. Y'all definitely did that. The theme of the show was very political, very Black Lives Matter was pretty much, I guess, what you could sum it all the theme of the show up into, because of course everything that's going on right now in America and really all across the world, it wouldn't make sense not to address it, and especially a platform, Black entertainment, television, is something that you have to address. So I thought that BET did a great job in putting the issue to the forefront, but still delivering a very entertaining show. The host this year was Miss Amanda Seales. Amanda Seales, I don't even know what I could classify Amanda Seales as. She is a little bit of everything, just an all-around entertainer. She's an actress. Back in the day, she was on a Nickelodeon show. Was it My Brother and Me or Pete and Pete? I can't remember what show she was on, but she was on a Nickelodeon show back in the day. I think that's how we got introduced to her. And then she became Amanda the Diva, who I believe she was like a VJ on MTV. She was a member of Flowetry at one point. Now we see her on Insecure. She did daytime talk show when she was a host, one of the hosts of The Real recently, which we know that she's not coming back for another season, unfortunately, because I just really want to see her on more platforms. Like I really like her as a voice. I didn't know exactly what to expect. Oh, she's also done stand-up comedy. So I knew, hearing that she was going to be hosting, that she had it. She definitely had the chops to be able to pull it off. So I wasn't worried one bit about that. But she does have, I think when it comes to Amanda Seales, a lot of people are like, it's either you love her or you don't like her. I don't really see a lot of in between on that. But I like her. I really do. I would love to see her more on my television screen. I know she has a podcast. I think that she's a great voice and an important voice, and a voice that we do need right now, because she is a voice that really has been speaking up on the issues that we are, putting to the forefront today for a very long time. much to, I'm sure, her detriment, because people in Hollywood didn't want to hear about it then. They don't really want to hear about it now as much as, people getting on camera talking about they're taking responsibility and stuff like that. It's still America, and it is what it is. But I think that Amanda Seales was a great host. She wore, all of her fashions were by Black designers, which I thought was amazing because she looked fabulous. She looked great. The show starts off with 12-year-old Keydron Bryant. He's singing his original song called I Just Want to Live, which is available on all streaming platforms. So make sure that you guys go buy it and support this young gentleman. I also heard that he just landed a record deal with Warner Records. So, congrats on that. He has a great voice. The song is beautiful. It's powerful. How amazing is it that this 12-year-old wrote a song that is this profound? My only issue with it is I hate the fact that this 12-year-old has to write a song like this, or feels that he has to sing about this. If he should be singing about, like his middle school crush or video games or, whatever is going on. I guess at this time in his life, it should just be normal, preteen things. But unfortunately, he's sitting here singing a song saying, pretty much pleading, saying that he's a young Black man. He just wants to live. He just wants to live. That is heart-wrenching to me. And I think that it's unfortunate that some people will never understand what it's like to grow up being a Black child, and you do have to deal with these issues. Your parents make sure that, a lot, hopefully, I know, my mom did, but, sat me down and talked to me about the Black struggle in America and the things that I would have to go through as a Black man in America, and things that our people have been through this country. And it's something that you always have to think about. Like, it's like you are always aware of your Blackness. It's like we're never just free to just be kids. And it's really unfortunate, because to me, this song is just a reminder of how young Black children are not just allowed to just be, in this country. It's really unfortunate. So to start out the show like that, it was a little bit solemn, it was like, oof, okay, well, that was heavy. But next thing you know, you start hearing that beat to Fight the Power, and it's like, okay, it kind of gets you pumping a little bit, kind of gets your blood pumping, and kind of makes you, it gets you up. So right after Keydron's performance, it was Public Enemy performing Fight the Power 2020, I guess you could say remix, which we see images of protest. Chuck D comes in, he starts rapping with his legendary self and voice, which was super cool. We see Flavor Flav, who was rocking like a smaller, more sophisticated looking clock, but he was doing his thing. First verse we get is from the legendary Nas, the King of Queens. Really not much I can say about it. He delivered a really dope verse. As expected. I didn't expect anything less from Nas. After Nas, we got Rhapsody, who I'm super happy and thankful that they put a Black woman on this, gave her the opportunity to be on this track. How major is that, that Rhapsody gets to say that she got to team up with Chuck D and Flavor Flav, a Public Enemy. Major. And Rhapsody, honestly, to me, had the best verse on the track. Hers was the most memorable. She had this line where she was like, "You love Black Panther but hate Fred Hampton." I thought that was super powerful. Fred Hampton was the leader of the Black Panthers party. Pretty much in this line, she's saying, you love Black Panther, the film, and you want to be all Wakanda and pro-Black in that sense. But when it comes to being revolutionary, in real life, like a real Black Panther, all of a sudden you don't know what was what. So I thought that was a really dope bar. And then she had this crazy, insane bar where she mentioned George Floyd, and she was like, George Floyd being killed for $20 bill, and that's 2,000 pennies. That's the price of a meal at Wendy's, which resulted in the death. And of course, I just completely butchered that, but I was just like, damn. damn, Rhapsody, that was dope. It was such a good line. But like I said, to me, she had the best verse out of everybody. Then Black Thought comes through, another legend from the Roots, does his thing. Questlove was also there doing his thing. YG came in, he did his thing. It was dope. It was such a dope moment because the song came out 31 years ago, okay? Let that sink in. The song came out 31 years ago. But here we are today in 2020, still talking about Fight the Powers That Be. Because we're still, as Black people in America, are in the same place that we were 31 years ago, 50-something years ago, 60-something years ago. I mean, of course, things have gotten a little bit, better and a little bit more cushier over time, but really, it's really just been sugar-coated. And I think that this year, people are finally waking up and finally seeing like, oh, okay, some real change needs to happen. It can't just be a thing of just being talked about anymore. Like, real change has to happen. So just how powerful is that? I mean, and I even have in my notes Strange Fruit, the song made famous by Billie Holiday, which talked about lynchings in the South. Beautiful, profound song, legendary song that came out 81 years ago, and we are still talking about the same thing today. Just let that sink in. All right, so now that we are all pumped up from, fight the power, you gotta fight the powers that be, we hear a very familiar voice. Miss MC Lyte, y'all, is still doing the voiceover for the BET Awards, and I am just thankful for small favors such as that. I'm just thankful that some things never change, because MC Lyte has been emceeing the BET Awards since I was a child. Since I came into consciousness of being able to watch the BET Awards, I have been hearing MC Lyte's voice. It just makes sense, and I mean, it seems like it's a good, consistent little gig for her every year, so why not? It's really going to be the end of an era when MC Lyte decides that she's not going to be emceeing the BET Awards any longer. So all throughout the night, Amanda Seales was doing tributes to different BET original shows, which was super dope because as you may or may not know, this was the 40-year anniversary of Black entertainment television. 40 years. So shout out to Bob Johnson, the creator of BET, for that. 40 years. That is so insane. I'm about to be 26 years old, so the fact that BET has been around that long is pretty dope. But like I said, she was doing different like skits and as odes to the original programming that used to be on BET, which was dope because it was super nostalgic, but at the same time it was like, dang, BET like really used to be something. Like, it really used to be that channel. Like, kids today just will never understand like what it felt like to come home and watch AJ and Free on 106 in Park, or even Terrence J and Roxy. At one point they held it down for a while, and although they weren't the OGs, they did a great job. And for a whole nother generation, that's their 106 in Park hosts. And it was exciting, to see the Black celebrities come on there, and to see your Black music videos that weren't making it onto TRL or weren't topping the charts on TRL, getting some shine. It was dope. It was such a dope moment, 106 in Park was. And that's what we started out with. Amanda Seales starts out with a little 106 in Park tribute, and to introduce our first performer, Roddy Ricch. So we see Roddy Ricch. He is at the piano, doing his little thing. He starts out with his song High Fashion, which is a bop. I absolutely love that song, High Fashion. Then he goes into his Billboard Hot 100 #1 song, which not everybody has that to their credit. That's from Mariah Carey, American Idol, Shady Nicki Minaj, who, by the way, now has not one, but two #1 Billboard Hot 100 #1 records. So check that. I really liked Roddy Ricch's set. I loved the beginning with the changing lights over the girls. I thought that was super dope. And then when he went into the box, behind him, he had like all these fans on camera that were like just jamming, just dancing along, which was super dope because it kind of gave that feel of there being an audience when we know there wasn't one. You know, some of them in the videos had masks on, which was awesome. Thank you for being socially responsible. So, I mean, it was dope. I loved his set. I think he did a really good performance, a good job. The Box is a huge song. I mean, everybody loves that song. And if you don't, you know it. It is in your head every now and then. So don't act like that. Don't just be hitting you every now and then, and you don't be like, come on, we all are guilty of it. Then BT shed a spotlight on a Mr. Nicholas Johnson. He is the first Black valedictorian in the 274-year history of Princeton. Let that sink in. 274 years. 274 years. Congrats to him. But Princeton, like, for real, it's insane. But also shout out to Princeton University, because they also recently said that they are going to be removing Woodrow Wilson's name from the University School of Public and International Affairs, which will now be known as Princeton School of Public and International Affairs. They said that they have taken this extraordinary step because we believe that Wilson's racist thinking and policies make him an inappropriate namesake for a school whose scholars, students, and alumni, such as the famous forever First Lady Michelle Obama, must be firmly committed to combating the scourge of racism in all forms. This is something that students have been protesting at Princeton since 2015. So it's dope that finally this is happening. Small steps in the right direction. Our next performer is Mr. John Legend, who we see and hear start clickety-clacketing, you know, his heels. It looks like he's in like some abandoned warehouse or something. Very ominous, you know, scene. He performed his song Never Break, which is off of his latest album, Bigger Love. There's a song on that album called Actions, which if you have not heard it, you should definitely hear it because it is a whole jam. It samples Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg's The Next Episode, and it's just good. It does it so flawlessly. As far as Never Break, it's a beautiful and empowering song. I just wish John Legend would give us a little bit more oomph, you know, when it comes to his performances. He is a legend, no pun intended. He is an icon. The man is EGOT status. For those that don't know, that means he has an Emmy, a Grammy, an Oscar award, and a Tony award. And that is something not everybody has to their credit with my Mariah finger. Like seriously, that it's major. I think Whoopi Goldberg has it, and a few others. I think he was like the youngest to get it. So he is very accomplished and has had a major career. But I just feel like, okay, you've been in the game for a while at this point, and I just would love just a little bit something more in the performances. Like every single time that he pulls up to an award show, it's like, all right, black suit, piano, he sings his little song, he goes on about his day. It's not bad, but it's just also like, okay, anything else? But it was a beautiful song. He brought out a gospel choir, which I appreciated because gospel choirs are so underrated in music. They don't be using them like they used to do in the 90s. So I thought that was cool. But other than that, I don't know, maybe a colorful suit next time. I don't know. It's good. He's a safe bet. You know what you're gonna get when John Legend pulls up to perform. That's all I gotta say about that. So for our first award of the night, we have Miss Marsai Martin from Blackish. She's also the producer and actress in the film Little. She is, you know, on her way up in Hollywood. She's doing her thing. I thought she looked great. Apparently she was getting some criticism online because people are just always gonna be jerks and a-holes, you know, about her hair. She had like a cute little blonde weave look going on. It was nice. It was something different for her, but I thought she looked fine. People were talking about her teeth, trying to say she had veneers, which she had proved that she didn't. She did this funny reply where she acted like she was responding to it, and she was acting like her feelings were hurt and she was crying, and she had somebody off camera hand her a $100 bill for her to blow her nose and wipe her tears in, which I thought, that's how you respond. That's the perfect way to respond, girl, because while they're sitting at home watching you, you're counting your coin and getting success and living your life, living your dreams. So, you know, let the haters hate. But she was there to introduce Best Female Hip Hop Artist Award, which I also want to shout out BET. for just keeping this award alive, first and foremost. BET, I think, is the only platform that really acknowledges female rappers as far as the award sense. I mean, or even in general, quiet as kept, but they have always had this award, Best Female Hip Hop Artist Award. Fun fact, the Grammys had a Best Female Hip Hop Artist Award for 1 year. It was given out 2 times, and Missy Elliott won both those times before they completely got rid of the award. That was 2003 and 2004. And as far as the BET Awards goes, it should be noted that Miss Nicki Minaj has won in this category 7 consecutive years in a row. So that was an awesome streak that we remember seeing get ended because Remy Ma dissed her with Sheether, and everybody was hyping Remy Ma up, acting like, oh my gosh, Remy Ma, you're back. We're gonna support you. We love you so much. Thank you for killing that evil witch, Nicki Minaj. And then Remy Ma came out with her own stuff, and y'all didn't support it. Y'all paid it absolute dust. Both her singles, Melanin Magic and what was it, Company with A Boogie with a Hoodie, y'all completely played that lady. So now she's sitting on a show with Joe Budden, talking about Nicki Minaj and whatever shenanigans Nicki's getting into these days. So congratulations to y'all. Okay, y'all acted like y'all were gonna support that woman and just completely failed her. I mean, she got a record deal and everything out of dissing Nicki, and nothing. She still has not put out an album. That was in 2017, and she got out the pen in like 2014. It's crazy to me. I heard recently she was talking about, oh, my album is gonna come out soon. I think it's gonna be called Reminisce instead of 7 Winters, 6 Summers. She said it's not radio friendly. It's not going to be for radio, which, pretty much sums up that she knows that it's not going to do the numbers that she would prefer that it do. As we saw with Lil' Kim when she put out her most recent album, 9. Y'all, all these years, hyped her up, kept saying, oh, she's a legend. Nicki got everything from Kim, da-da-da-da. And then when she comes out with her album, it only sells literally between 1,500 to 2,000 copies. So y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop supporting female rappers just despite Nicki Minaj. It's crazy. So the nominees this year were Nicki Minaj, who we gotta say, like, being over a decade into your career and still being up against women who just got into the game, that's phenomenal. That is longevity. That's the goal. That is not just to get in here, get #1 records, make a whole bunch of money. It's to really have a legacy and longevity. So that's pretty amazing. So our nominees were Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Saweetie, and Cardi B. Automatically, I knew this was going to Megan Thee Stallion. She's had an incredible recent couple years. These last few years have been really good to Megan Thee Stallion as far as her career is concerned. I would have rioted if it went to anybody else. It just wouldn't have made sense for it to go to anybody else. She's had such a fantastic movement. I mean, she just recently went #1 with Beyonce with the Savage remix. Savage was going viral on TikTok, had a huge movement behind that. If you ask Black Twitter, just Black folk, we love that Tina Snow EP. It was so good. So good. Fever was good, and even her most recent little mixtape, Sugar, loved it. So I'm super excited to see where she goes. She actually comes out and performs later and does her thing, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. So shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, who I also like to call the Princess of Rap, because she writes all her stuff and is just bringing credibility back to female hip hop, because I feel like, we were letting it go a little bit there. Yeah, that's all I'll say on that. So we see the legendary Miss Tracee Ellis Ross rocking her Josephine Baker little swirly baby hairs all around. She introduces singer Masego, who is performing his song called Queen Tings. I really loved his set a lot with all the plants. If I had it my way, I would have plants all over the place, all around, but unfortunately my boyfriend is afraid of spiders, so compromise. I really liked Masego. I like his music. It's definitely my kind of vibe. And then I was completely sold when he broke out that saxophone and gave us a nice little sax solo, because I love the saxophone. It's one of my favorite instruments. I think I played it for like 5 days when I was in band for a little bit. That was a cute little stint in my life, but I just love it. It's a beautiful sound. It's a beautiful instrument. It's completely underutilized in music. We need to go back to like in the 80s when, you know, you get a nice little jazzy saxophone solo. I miss that. So that was dope. And I thought that it was really dope that they didn't cut him off. They gave him his time to perform, where if we were actually in the building, they would be cut into advertisements in the middle of his performance, because he's not one of the main performers. He's one of the sponsored performers. But I really liked it. I'm gonna have to get into some more of his music. So Amanda brings us back from break with a skit called Karen's Support Group. It's a bunch of white ladies. They're, I guess, in this group on Facebook. They're all doing like a video chat call. And they're talking about all their Karen experiences. And then, you know, at the end of the skit, Amanda rips off her wig and says, "Hi, I caught you guys. And I know how all y'all kids got into college." It was cute. It was a cute little skit. That's really all I had to say about it. It didn't make me laugh out loud or bust at the seams or anything, but it was cute. I mean, as far as touching on what's going on in times right now, it was nice. After that, Amanda pops up and gives us an ode to BET News, dressed like Hillary Banks, which actually in the skit she shout out Philip Banks, who was running for, what was it, Supreme Circuit judge or whatever it was, but she shouted out Philip Banks, which was dope. And she was introducing D-Smoke and Sir, who I actually just found out were brothers during this performance. But they were singing the song, their song Let Go, and D-Smoke's song Black Habits, which is off of his album of the same name. These are two artists that if you've never heard of them, I think you should definitely look them up and get into them, especially if you're into hip hop and especially if you are into pure R&B, because they both deliver. D-Smoke is just classic hip hop type sound and in his delivery for me, and Sir is classic, beautiful R&B. He be singing his head off. If you are looking for a song by D-Smoke, I would say try his song Closer to God. As for Sir, he has a song called That's All Right. But it was a beautiful black performance. There's really not much I can say about it. Shout out to D-Smoke, because he was just talking some real ish in his performance. I really loved it. BET also does a spotlight on DJ D-Nice, who has keeping a lot of us entertained in these crazy quarantine times. All you've been bored in the house bored with his club quarantine. D-Nice, if you don't know, has been going on Instagram Live since like the beginning of all this quarantine craziness and doing his little DJ sets, and has had every celebrity up on those lives, from Michelle Obama to Solange, just anybody that you could think of was in the room, you know, giving him his props. Another thing they shined a spotlight on was Swizz Beatz and Timbaland's Versus, which has become a huge popular series ever since they did it a few years ago. They had their little, you know, set off on, they actually had like a whole stage. It was a whole production, and it was a really dope moment. And people ever since then have been like, oh, we want to see this artist go up against this artist, this producer go up against this producer. So it's became a thing. First we had the Babyface versus Teddy Riley battle, which was comedy for everybody on the internet and everybody that was watching. We had our Erykah Badu versus Jill Scott battle, which was beautiful. I'm so glad that I got to witness that live, because that was such a beautiful interaction between those two women. I think recently we had Jadakiss and Fabulous go up against each other. Trina and Trick Daddy did one. I don't know if that one was actually sanctioned by Versus, but regardless, it's been really dope. Jagged Edge versus 112. It's been some nice little battles that have been trying to, you know, just keep our spirits up and keep us entertained. So shout out to them for that. Our next presenter is Lizzo, who is presenting the Video of the Year award. She looked absolutely fabulous to me. I don't care what anybody has to say about Lizzo. She could do no wrong in my eyes. She is a queen. I've loved her ever since she sang Good as Hell for the Barbershop 3 soundtrack. And I saw her on, I don't know if it was The Real or the View, but she was on one of those daytime talk shows and she performed it. And when I heard that song, I was like, oh my God, I love this song. And then she has another song called, is it Phone? Where the hell my phone? Where the hell my phone? How I'm supposed to get home? It's classic. Her Coconut Oil EP was super good. Truth Hurts, which came out like I think a year or two ago, but just recently had gotten its momentum and its legs. Her album, Cause I Love You, is a phenomenal album. If you haven't heard it, definitely go listen to it, because she's just an amazing artist all around, super versatile. She gets a lot of flack because she considers herself a female rapper, but to me, she's just an all-around entertainer. To me, she kind of reminds me of Missy Elliott. I feel like her and Missy Elliott are singers. I feel like they're singers, they're artists that just so happen to also be able to rap. She was presenting Video of the Year. Our nominees are Chris Brown and Drake for No Guidance, DaBaby Bop, DJ Khaled featuring John Legend and the late great Nipsey Hussle for Higher, Doja Cat Say So, and Megan Thee Stallion featuring Nicki Minaj and Ty Dolla $ign for Hot Girl Summer, and lastly Roddy Ricch for his The Box video. I thought this was a good category, had great nominees in it. The most creative video to me out of this category would probably be somewhere between Bop by DaBaby, which that was the one that had the Jabberwockies in it. Choreography was really dope. I really enjoyed that video. I really enjoy most of his videos that have been coming out recently. And then I would say the next one after that I thought was super creative was also Doja Cat Say So, because it had that whole 70s vibe. She was serving looks and choreography throughout that. And No Guidance actually could have gone up for it too, because it was a big moment when it came out. It gave us a lot of great memes and gifs. So, but the award went to DJ Khaled, John Legend, and Nipsey Hussle for Higher. The video, if I recall the video correctly, it's been a minute since I saw it. I think I saw it when it premiered. I don't remember it being that creative, but of course, you know, we want to give Nipsey Hussle his things. Rest in peace, Nipsey. So yeah, congrats to them. Next, Amanda does an ode to Comic View. Again, just reminding us that BT really used to be that channel back in the day. I remember Comic View. I remember staying up late and catching Comic View and seeing so many comedians that went on to do film and just really amazing things in film and television that I saw for the first time ever on Comic View and reruns of Comic View. There's no reason why I can't see them bringing Comic View back and giving a platform to Black comedians. I think it's necessary. I don't know, BET just needs some revamping for me. I would love for them to bring back some of the old stuff and then just bring back some new stuff, some Black cooking shows, some Black home renovating shows, some Black arts and crafts shows, some Black teen shows, some more, you know, scripted shows like Lena Waithe's Boomerang and 20s. What is the Soul Train show that's on right now? I would love to see some more of that content. Hell, bring back BET Uncut. You know, these kids don't know what it's like to accidentally wake up in the middle of the night and just see, you know, some ass shaking on your TV and not know what's going on because it went from regular BET to BET Uncut in the middle of the night. So Amanda introduces our next performer, which is Megan Thee Stallion, aka the Princess of Rap. It's Tina Snow, aka Sugar. She gives us this cute post-apocalyptic Mad Max, Maya Case of the X, Janet Jackson, You Want This desert scene. And I was like, yes, production, budget, she's got it. She's got like these dirt bikes, she's got all her bad bitches behind her, you know, they getting ready, they dancing. And she comes out doing her new song. Yeah, it's called Girls in the Hood, okay, because it's over the Eazy-E Boys in the Hood beat, which this is I believe this is the second time that I've heard her hop on a classic hip hop track. The first time being BITCH over the Tupac I'd Rather Be an NIGGA beat, which she did a great job. She said time and time again, Pimp C is her favorite rapper. So she really has a respect for hip hop and its roots and, you know, and knows where she comes from. So I thought that was amazing for her to redo this song. Then she goes into her Billboard Hot 100 #1 song, Savage Remix featuring Beyonce, giving us twerk like she does, giving us choreography, giving us looks, you know, just giving it all to us, just serving, just completely served it up. Megan Thee Stallion looked great and she did an amazing job. I'm super proud of her. I just feel like Megan Thee Stallion is really bringing some credibility back to twerking after Miley Cyrus tried to hijack it and really ruined its name. So I'm super proud of her for that. Next, Amanda does an ode to Rhapsody the Basement with a little freestyle. And this is so that she can introduce our next performer, the baby. And when we see the baby's performance start out, automatically we know that he is doing an ode to the late George Floyd, who we know was murdered by police and kind of set off this recent chain of protests that have been going on when he was murdered with the cop kneeling on his neck for 8-9 minutes. Insane. So he starts, we see him on the ground with his face on the ground with a cop on him, arresting him in his neck. Super powerful image. Then we see a lot of Black Lives Matter and protest images. He's performing his song Rockstar with Roddy Ricch. I'm not a big fan of the song. I can't lie, I do like the baby a lot. He's super enigmatic. He makes me want to listen to him and see what he's got going on. I don't know, I really liked his album Kirk, which came out last year. Check out the song iPhone with him and Nicki Minaj. And there's a song on there called Really. The song off his latest album, Blame It On Baby, Rockstar, which he's performing with Roddy Ricch, I believe it made it to #1 or #2 on Billboard. And at the end, what's really powerful though about this song is at the end of the song, there's a sample where you hear a little girl speaking, and she's saying, you know, Black people shouldn't have to go through this, you know, y'all are killing us, and, you know, just really very profound speech. You can tell it's from a child. Now, this speech came from a young girl named Zayana Oliphant. Hopefully I'm saying that name right, but she gave a speech to City Council back in 2016, a very heart-wrenching, powerful speech after the death of the fatal shooting by police of 43-year-old Keith Scott. He was also murdered on video, which was recorded by his wife. The police tried to say he had a gun. His wife was saying, no, he doesn't have a gun, he's unarmed. But yeah, we know how that ended. Which again, go back to my point of how Black kids don't just get to be Black children in America, because unfortunately these are things that they think about, they see, they're aware of, and have no choice but to think about when they're trying to also just be a normal child and deal with normal life and normal things that children go through. Our next performance is by Miss Jennifer Hudson, who is performing Aretha Franklin's rendition of Young, Gifted, and Black, which is originally by Nina Simone, I believe. One of my favorite songs. I absolutely love this song. If you get a chance, you should go look up on YouTube Nina Simone on Sesame Street. Back in the 70s, she performed this song on Sesame Street, who's always been down with all the causes. So shout out to Sesame Street. But it's such a beautiful, amazing clip, classic, just beautiful moment. Jennifer Hudson didn't disappoint. She never really does when it comes to doing a tribute. This is just right up her alley. Aretha Franklin's range is right up her alley. As we know, she's also going to be playing the late great Miss Aretha Franklin in the upcoming film Respect, which also had like Mary J. Blige in it, Marlon Wayans, Forest Whitaker, among others. So I know this is going to be a hell of a film. People are already saying that Jennifer's coming for her second Oscar, which I think would be dope. What's really interesting though is that we're actually getting 2 Aretha biopics this year. We're also getting Cynthia Erivo, who played Harriet Tubman. She's playing Aretha on National Geographic Channel. They have a docuseries called Genius, Aretha. So I'm definitely curious to see how they both tackle Aretha's story, because there's a lot of story to tell there. But yeah, not much I can say. Jennifer gave us a nice nasty church vocal. It was beautiful. It was great. She did a great job. Our next performer is Anderson .Paak, who I love. His music is so good. His voice is so good. When this song started, first of all, let me say this is such a good song. It is a stone cold groove, okay? Just a really good song that immediately, as soon as you hear the beat, you just start, you know, nodding your head. You just start kind of vibing to it. And he's such a great artist that he can make a bop like this while projecting the important message. It's his new single called Lockdown, where he's talking about being in a protest and, you know, rapper. He has a pretty good career. I just almost feel like he was born in the wrong generation. Like, he's 34, so he definitely grew up, you know, in that 90s era, and I just feel like he would have really been dope in the 90s for some reason. I don't know. I just really get that vibe from him. He came out with J-Rock, who is another rapper that I like. He has this song called Win, which is one of my anthems. J-Rock is, it's like he's a big rapper without being this huge, great music. And I think that's a really good place to be as far as a career. But this was a wonderful performance, great song. Absolutely love the song, love the set, love the makeup that he had on, looking all beat up and stuff like that. And just, yeah, he delivered. If you haven't heard of Anderson .Paak, definitely go check him out. So next we have Kirk Franklin. He introduces the singer Loner. Loner reminds me of like George Smith, Ravina, Sabrina Claudio type, you know, that like vibe and crystals, like, you know, very chill, you know, type artist. He's performing his song called Make the Most, which features her, but she wasn't in the performance. But he carried it. He did a really good job. It made me want to go check out some more of his music and see what he's about. I did listen to a couple songs. He kind of reminded me of Juice WRLD, rest in peace, a little bit, at least on the song that I heard, which is called AM. Loner, he did a really good job too. Then we get an awesome tribute from Wayne Brady. He does a tribute to Little Richard, performing some of his greatest hits. I'm just surprised that we don't see Wayne Brady more, because although he's had a fantastic career from Whose Line Is It Anyway to all the movies and television that he's done, I just feel like his talent is just so wide that he really could be in more and do so much more. I know he won The Masked Singer. I think he was the Fox. Everybody thought it was Jamie Foxx, but it was actually him. He's just super talented, super talented. He did a great job. But you know who would have killed this performance? You ready? Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe would have killed a Little Richard performance if she dusted off one of her old suits that she used to tightrope on. Oh, this would have been so dope, right up her alley. But I can't say anything bad about Wayne Brady because he did the damn thing. After that, it gets a little solemn because we do our in memoriam, which, you know, reminds us that we've lost so many iconic people such as Little Richard, Andre Harrell, Juice WRLD, Miss Minnie, Betty Wright, Roger Mayweather, Jesse Norman, Janae Dubois, Nikita Pearl Baligwa, Gregory Tree Boyce, Baby Huey, Jazz Waters, Elijah Cummings, John Conyers, Pernell Whitaker, Chris Cotton, Ellis Marsalis Jr., Pop Smoke, Esther Scott, B. Smith, Diane Carroll, Timothy Brown, John Witherspoon, so many, Willie Lewis Brown Jr., Bill Withers, and last but not least, Kobe Bryant, which is how we started off this crazy year. Still insane to think about, but they ended it with Kobe Bryant, which went into a performance from Lil Wayne, which was kind of interesting to see him on this platform, being that he said he doesn't believe in Black Lives Matter because he's never experienced racism in his life. So that was interesting, but he did a good job. It was a good performance. He did a nice freestyle dedicated to Kobe, so we'll just leave it at that. Next, we see Mr. Dion Cole, who introduces Best Female Pop R&B Artist. The nominees are Lizzo, Beyonce, Her, Kehlani, Jhené Aiko, and Summer Walker. Lizzo wins. I was surprised that she wasn't nominated for Best Female Hip Hop Artist this year. In her speech, I thought it was dope because she talked about how she's been to the BET Awards for the past few years. She didn't win anything, but she still walked away feeling like a winner. She big up Beyonce, which I thought was dope. Yeah, I mean, people were upset. They felt like it should have gone to Summer Walker, which honestly, it could have and probably should have as far as this category, but I can't hate because Lizzo's album was good. It was really good. Our next performance is Miss Alicia Keys, who is kind of similar to John Legend in that sense of you already know what you're gonna get. It's piano time. So she's surrounded by a bunch of grand pianos. She's at her piano, like in the middle of the city. To me, she sounds like Alicia Keys. People were online clowning her vocals, but I didn't think she sounded terrible. To me, she's always sounded the same, but people swear that her vocals have gone downhill, but I don't know. I don't hear it. She's maybe a little bit raspier, but not. I don't think I've had a moment where I was like, "Oh, what happened to Alicia?" She does an amazing job. this was no different. Great performance. On her set, like I said, she's in the middle of the city. We see images of Mike Brown, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. She also had the names of some other murdered Black people written on the ground. The song is called Perfect Way to Die. And I don't know how to feel about that exactly. The lyrics are beautiful and poetic. When I looked them up, I was like, okay, this is a really beautiful song. But there's this one line where she says, I guess you picked the perfect way to die. And that just doesn't sit right with me. Just because they didn't pick anything. None of these people chose. It's not like they committed suicide or anything. Like, no, they were murdered. So I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's still kind of a little cringy. But other than that, great performance, good song. You know, like I said, these people didn't choose to be Black and targeted. But other than that, lovely performance. We see Amanda Seales again. She does an ode to another classic BET show, Teen Summit, which was before my time, child. But she does that to introduce Chloe and Halle, who dressed up their third member, Miss Tennis Court, for an amazing performance. They started out with their song Forgive Me off of their new album, Ungodly Hour, which please y'all go listen to the album, go buy it, go stream it, just go check it out. It's so good. Like, these girls are really coming into their own. It's been such amazing watching their journey. I remember seeing them for the first time on Disney Channel back in the day. They were part of like this Radio Disney contest against some other white kids or whatever. But they're great. They are super talented. I wasn't really feeling their previous album. I think it's called The Kids Are Alright. But this album, Ungodly Hour, this is it. This is a good album. They're also on the show Grownish. We know that Halle is about to be Ariel. Chloe's about to be in some thriller. They're really out here doing their thing. So they start out with that, and just their vocals, the way that they harmonize and the way that they can go from sultry to opera is like, it's mind-blowing, so beautiful. Then they switch into their jam, which is my jam, Do It, which is also off of the Ungodly Hour album. And then they break into a dance battle against themselves, Black, where they're all up in the black, and then they're all up in the white, and they're, you know, just each their own competition. It was dope. It reminded me of Destiny's Child, Lose My Breath video, when Destiny's Child was going up against Destiny's Child in the video. It was, you know, hood Destiny's Child versus classy Destiny's Child. Y'all know what I'm talking about. After their performance, we get a tribute to Bob Johnson, the creator of BET. Again, BET is celebrating 40 years. Crazy. Like I said, I just would love to see them get back to what they once were, instead of just playing reruns all day and old movies all day. It's like Black TV land over there. Like, I just miss it. They do have some new shows, like I said, Lena Waithe's Boomerang, and 20s. Tyler Perry's, I think, keeping the network afloat with his new programming right now. I saw a tweet from a woman who works for TV One who said that we talk about wanting these Black shows, but then we don't support them because their ratings on TV One, she said, you know, are super low, and they have Black cooking shows and they have Black this and Black that. I just feel like TV One doesn't have the marketing that BET has, and that's the issue. I don't think that everyone is aware of TV One, and TV One doesn't have a thing that makes people go to TV One. There's not one show, Unsung maybe, but other than that, I can't really think of a show that people really go to for TV One. So she does have a point, but at the same time, I just feel like BET does have the power, the reputation, the track record to be able to do that if they just market it well. If they just put all their money behind it, BET could definitely come back. Next performance we have is Miss Summer Walker, who I thought she looks super cute and alternative. She was sitting on a stool playing her little guitar, singing her song Session 32, and then she goes into her song Come Through with Usher, which is on her 2019 album Over It. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little late to the Summer Walker party. I haven't heard the album in its entirety, but I've heard a few songs like Drunk Dialing and Girls Need Love, but I definitely want to take the time to kind of get into her music a lot more, because I think she's super talented. I think she really has something. I'm really excited to see where she goes. Next category is Album of the Year. Our nominees are Lizzo for 'Cause I Love You, Megan Thee Stallion for Fever, Beyonce for her Homecoming album, Her for I Used to Know Her, DaBaby for his album Kirk, and Roddy Ricch for his album Please Excuse Me for Being Antisocial. Which one? I was don't know. I don't know if I was shocked or what. I mean, he's had an amazing year. I listened to the album. It's a solid rap album. I enjoyed it. Album of the year? Maybe. Possibly. I mean, I think a lot of people have been bumping Roddy Ricch lately. But over Homecoming, okay, that one's a little tough for me, but I am biased, because I'm Beehive all day. Even Cause I Love You was a bomb album. The Baby's Kirk was a really good album. I don't think Megan could have got it for her Fever EP, at least not in this category, but had it been Tina Snow, she could have got it, because that's such a great project. She did her thing on that. But shout out to Roddy Ricch. He won Album of the Year. So next we get this random performance from gospel singer Jonathan McReynolds and country singer Kane Brown. Jonathan starts off singing softly and playing his guitar. I think I saw him for the first time recently in Kirk Franklin's Smile 2020 coronavirus remake that had like Fantasia, Kelly Price, and some other folks in there. I watched a couple performances of his after that, and he has a nice voice. It's kind of like one note to me, but he does his thing. So that was a cute little moment for Jonathan McReynolds. He's getting his name out there a lot more these days. Kane Brown, country singer, black country singer. Well, he's mixed, I'm pretty sure. He comes out singing this song. I don't know if it's called One Love, but he comes out talking about one love and how we're all the same and one God and one family. And he pretty much, after this, the whole show has been this black ass show about Black Lives Matter and stand up and fight for our rights and stop killing us. He comes out and just completely all lives matters the damn thing. And I just did not understand it. And I was just like, who greenlit this? Like, completely ruined the momentum. Yeah, I didn't like it at all. He tried, and I'm sick of people trying to push this narrative that, oh, we just need to all sit around and, kumbaya and realize that we're all one and we're all one race, the human race, and we're all more alike than we're all different. No, we're not. We're not all alike. Some of y'all are racist, and that's the problem. And it's not a black people problem. It's not black people not wanting to be equal, not wanting to be a part of society, not wanting to be treated like everybody else. It's white people not wanting to treat black people like everybody else. This is a white people problem. It's not a black people problem. So stop. Talk to your audience, Kane Brown. Don't come over here talking to us about that. No, because we got the memo. We get it. It's the people on the other side. You're a country singer. It's the people that would not let Lil Nas X go #1 because they said, well, technically he's not country. That's the people you need to be talking to. The people on the country side, when Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards with the Dixie Chicks, now known as the Chicks because they dropped the Dixie because they're pro-black and everything. They've always been down. But anyways, that's another story. But when Beyonce performed at the Country Music Awards with them, they literally, CMT had to shut down the comments because they were so racist on YouTube and on their website. They had to shut down the comments on everything Beyonce related. The only performance they had to do that to because the comments were so racist. Talk to your people. Don't talk to us. But speaking of Beyonce, she is nominated for the Humanitarian Award this year. I mean, she does her thing when it comes to philanthropy and charity work. She doesn't really talk about it, which is an awesome thing. If you're a Beyonce fan, then you know that she's been donating and helping her church, her home church in Houston, since the beginning of her career. She even had started helping donate tests and everything in Houston for this COVID crisis. She helped Michelle Obama with her Get Your Fat Ass Up campaign for the children and got them moving and, trying to eat healthier. She's bailed out protesters, helped bring clean water to Flint. Her Lemonade album is a protest in itself. I mean, Beyonce's been doing her thing. I mean, she still has some waking up to do a little bit on the capitalism tip, as we know, and as No Name has been calling out for a while, but I appreciate the effort. It's been dope watching her journey go from mainstream cookie cutter pop artist to first lady of music and standing in her power and her blackness like she has been. She has a new visual album dropping July 31st on Disney Plus called Black is King, and I cannot wait. It looks artistic and black as hell, and I'm just absolutely ready for it. So lastly, Amanda gives us one last ode, this time to Bobby Jones Gospel. That is a show that if you fell asleep watching BET, then you woke up to it the next day. She introduces Kiara Clark Sheard and Kiara's legendary mother, Karen Clark Sheard of the Clark Sisters. And they give us a beautiful and powerful duet to close the show with a song called Something Has to Break. Whew, that was a performance. I mean, the gospel singers, they never fail. Anytime that they come out on the show, it's always like, it feels random because, you know, we've been sinning all night and having all these secular artists, but when they come out, they always bring church like they should, and it's just always amazing. And they were no different. Anytime you hear the name Clark and gospel, you know it's gonna be something. If you hear Kiki and gospel, you know it's gonna be something, and they did not disappoint. This song is actually off of Kiara's latest album titled Kiara, which also features like Missy Elliott on it. And I know the album version of this song features gospel artist Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Either way, you can't go wrong. Beautiful performance, beautiful song. Karen just looked so proud of her daughter up there too. And I just thought it was beautiful. It was a perfect ending to this beautiful celebration of Blackness. Amanda ended the show showing us that she did the show in her house. She was wearing a little Dapper Dan fit. I thought that was a cute way to end the show as well. She did a great job. Overall, the show was great. What did you guys think about the performances? What did you guys think about the awards? Did you think it flowed nicely? Drop down in the comments and let's talk about it, because these people did the damn thing. They put on an amazing, beautiful black ass show. This might have been my favorite BET Awards so far, and I really think that they changed the game for how award shows are going to be presented from now on. I can't wait to see what the VMAs does when they come up next. Again, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to follow me at StairwayToDeven. That's DEVEN. You can follow my page, The Pop Parlor, on Facebook. Check out the podcast, The Pop Parlor, and you know, just come back here now. I'll call you later. We'll talk about some more things soon. All right. Thank you for watching. I love you for watching, and thank you for being a friend. Bye.